Now at 9, the community of Chanute, Kansas rallies around a young boy who missed out on Halloween. Plus, the Pittsburgh Public Library commemorates Native American Heritage Month with the Land of Stories program. And
as most of the country winds the clock back an hour today, some are left wondering, why do we still do this? I'm Christina Coleman in Los Angeles. More on that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
2 people are dead after being hit by a train on a trestle bridge in Jasper County. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy. It happened around 2:15 this afternoon on the bridge over Center Creek. Authorities say the train saw the 2 men, 24-year-old Dakota Bittner and 39-year-old Terry Long, and blew its horn to warn them before hitting them. Bittner and Long are both from the local area. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a mild day for us today. Also very windy. We've had those winds gusting 20 to 30 at times throughout the afternoon. But look at our temps, 74 for a high, well above our average high of 63 degrees. We started at 51, so a big warm up compared to what we saw just a few days ago. And the winds, they're going to stay kind of strong. At least breezy tonight, and then it's going to be breezy / windy once again as we go into Tuesday or Monday into Tuesday of this coming week. We do have a few clouds kind of skirting through our northern counties, but most of us are pretty much clear skies. There's not a whole bunch going on for us tonight. We have a wave shooting across the northern parts of the plains. All it's going to do for us is give us some clouds, but temperatures stay mild over the next couple days. We're going to look at that and the rest of your work week, all coming up here in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A young boy in Chanute spent Halloween night in the hospital suffering from cystic fibrosis. Now that he's feeling better, the community of Chanute helped him have a Halloween do-over. Here's KOAM's Jasmine Knight with the story.
For Marcus Wools, cystic fibrosis doesn't scare him. However, what did scare him was missing out on trick-or-treating.
So I reached out to my mom and I was like, you know, can we thank us a few people to like do trick or treat for Marcus? And then so she posted about it and it like blew up.
For those who don't know, cystic fibrosis is an autoimmune disease that causes extra thick mucus in your body. From there, it can cause a blocked airway or even lung damage. The disease also makes you very susceptible to the common cold, and it can sometimes be fatal. In regard to his disability, Marcus's mom just wants the public to forget about the common misconceptions.
All disabilities have a per se look, because my son doesn't look sick, but he is sick, and more awareness to what those disabilities are.
Disability or not, Marcus got to enjoy some fun trick-or-treating and even got his favorite candy.
It's maybe like like those Snickers.
While wearing his favorite costume.
It's kind of like a little bit too big, except
Say it's a Fortnite T-Rex?
It's a Fortnite T-Rex and it has a patch.
And just like that, Marcus got to live out his Halloween dreams, thanks to a little bit of community support. Reporting in Chanute, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
Marcus and his family say they're grateful for everyone that participated and helped, and Marcus is so happy that he's out of the hospital so he doesn't have to get any more shots. Chanute High School's Band and Student Government held a mattress fundraiser. Custom Fundraising Solutions of Wichita provided the mattresses, and proceeds are split between the 2 departments based on student shout-outs from visitors. The band plans to use the money to buy and repair equipment, while the government will use the money to host school-wide events.
We have the students and their families are in charge of getting the word out to advertise the event. Our company handles all of the sales and the product from the fundraiser, and we work directly with each customer. But the students, their families in the school, their responsibility is to advertise and promote the event to let the community know that we're here.
Custom Fundraising Solutions of Wichita has raised over $500,000 for local Kansas schools. In honor of Native American Heritage Month, the Pittsburgh Public Library hosted a Land of Stories program for the community. Darcy Schultz, a citizen of the Peoria Tribe of Indians of Oklahoma, shared a variety of Native stories while highlighting Indigenous authors.
We are still here. So that's sort of a phrase that's kind of common. Tracy Sorrell wrote a book, a children's picture book called We Are Still Here. We are in this space and we are taking back that culture and relearning everything that was kind of lost, you know. That's my story.
The program was open to the public and began at 2 this afternoon. Local racers took this to the track today at Mocan Dragway for Sunday Fun Drags. And the day featured various races, including motorcycle, trucks, and car races. Gates opened at noon and races began at 1 p.m.
I hope it'll run a high 6 or a low 7. The car's all metal, got all glass in it. It's never been down the track. I haven't seen any competition yet. I just got here.
Admission to race at the drag event was $10. Kansas City Chiefs fans had the opportunity to watch the game while enjoying some breakfast this morning. Jasper, Newton, and Barton County Police Departments hosted a pancake fundraiser to raise money for their communities.
Some of the things our lodge supports, like the Shop with a Cop, or we help officers when they're in need, when some tragedy strikes an officer, or our Explorer program, or various other programs that the Fraternal Order of Police help support.
The event was open to the public and was all you can eat for $10. Commerce, Oklahoma Police and Fire hosted donkey basketball in Miami yesterday and invited some rivals across the state line. Seneca, Missouri Police and Fire. The purpose of the event was to raise money for the Commerce Police Departments to purchase new equipment. The rules may be simple, but controlling your donkey is not. Some students from Commerce High Band also played in the final game of the night. Seneca was the winner, 4-2. Still ahead, we'll take a look at the pros and cons of daylight savings time. The clock is resetting back from daylight savings time today. Doctors from Cleveland Clinic have tips on how to adjust your sleep to the new schedule. If you did fallback adjustments like avoiding excess caffeine and alcohol before bed, you're probably on track to getting better sleep. Cleveland Clinic health experts say don't stress too much about the time change. Instead, incorporate a generally good habits that will promote a finer sleep. If you forgot to set your clocks back an hour today, this is your reminder. But the question on many people's minds is why we still do this twice a year. And many in Washington feel the same way. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has more.
Millions of Americans saw their clocks fall back overnight. The extra hour of sleep can leave some of us feeling well rested, while others might feel disrupted or fatigued by the change.
You gotta keep changing your clock on your car. I hate doing that.
Scientists say it affects us both physically and mentally.
Learning, memory, executive functioning, multitasking, for example, which you can normally maybe do, that could be impacted during this transition.
Right now, we're in what's called standard time. The drawback is that the sun sets much earlier, leaving many to do their evening routines in darkness.
It may be a little darker earlier, but you're getting more light in the morning and throughout the day. And in fact, under standard time, you get many, many more days of daylight.
Springing forward is definitely the less popular of the two time shifts.
I really like it when it drops back an hour and we get an extra hour of sleep, but when I have to wake up an hour early, I'm not too excited about that.
And some lawmakers agree. In the past 6 years, 19 states have made efforts to move to year-round daylight saving time. The Sunshine Protection Act passed the Senate last year, but stalled in the House.
This is not the most important issue before the Republic, but I do think people wonder, why do we keep doing this flipping back and forth on the time?
Many say that ending the time changes is a good thing. The disagreement is over which one we should switch to permanently, standard or daylight saving. Many doctors say standard is better for our health, with the extra light in the morning setting us up for better sleep cycles. Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Chief Meteorologist Doug Ketty is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Tyson recalls 30,000 pounds of chicken nuggets.
Well, I hope you had a great weekend. Temperatures pretty good over the weekend. A lot of clouds, but at least our temperatures into the 70s for afternoon high Saturday, and also for us today. And we haven't had any rain, even though we've had the clouds. We still have a big deficit for this year, but at least the drought, the big picture, we put a nice little dent into it, which is good news, but we don't have any big storm systems heading toward us over the next couple days. Let's go outside downtown Joplin. We're looking at our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex live tower cam. Looks pretty good. We have partly cloudy skies outside. Of course, we're dry. Temperatures have been warm. Yesterday, we went near 70, which was pretty good. We only dropped into lower 50s during the morning hours. Of course, we lost that evening hour of daylight for us tonight as we fell back last night. But look at our highs into the mid 70s during the afternoon. Has been a little bit on the breezy side. Southerly winds kind of 5 to 10 to 15, but gusts at times upwards of about 20. Now, it's going to stay breezy tonight. It's going to stay breezy once again as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, especially our southern counties. We're going to have those gusts 20 upwards to 25. Let's go into Tuesday. Everybody has at least southerly wind gusts, kind of 20 to 30. So just keep in the back of your mind that it's going to be kind of windy as we go through the next couple days. For us tonight, we slide back through the 60s, eventually down to 59, which is fairly mild. We start with sunshine back to 68 by 10 a.m. And there's not a whole bunch going on for us. We have some clouds kind of scooting right through our northern counties. Besides that, we look pretty good. We do have a storm system across the northern parts of the plains, but any rain, any snow is staying up across the Dakotas into parts of Minnesota. All we are seeing from that are just some clouds. So we are going to have kind of in and out of the clouds tonight, and then once again for us tomorrow. Another little system kind of building behind it, and this system will start to affect us Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It's going to drop a cold front through and kind of drop us back to reality by that point in time. All right, let's go through time. For us tonight, we're going to stop tomorrow morning. Here's about 6 a.m. 59 Monette, 60 at Grand Lake, 59 in Pittsburgh, Parsons, about 60 degrees. In and out of the clouds throughout the day, lower 70s by noon. I think most of us get mid to upper 70s, very similar to what we had today as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, still kind of partly cloudy skies. You can see a few little showers trying to fire off in our far northern counties. So we can't, rule out a random shower in our northern counties, but most of you will stay dry. As we go into Tuesday afternoon, partly sunny skies, high temps into the upper 70s. So temperatures look great over the next couple days. 66 by 9, 76 by 1, 73 by 5 p.m. Temperatures stay above where we should be for this time of the year. 78 even on Wednesday. That cold front drops through, so a few morning showers Thursday, and then cooling down. It's not cold, it just cools us back down to where we should be. Highs mainly into the 60s Thursday, Friday, and then heading into this weekend. Elise?
Thanks, Doug. The holiday season can be a time of joy, but for those living with domestic violence, it can escalate an already bad situation. Reporter Chris Bryant has tips from experts on how you can get help.
That anecdotally, we hear from local law enforcement that calls of domestic violence increase.
Holiday shopping, finances, family obligations. The reason for an increase in domestic violence over the holidays have many stressors.
Around the holidays, there can be increased financial stress around trying to afford gifts, trying to afford travel. We also know that the holidays can be an extremely lonely time for folks as well. And if you're a survivor experiencing domestic violence, you might be already isolated.
Both men and women can be a victim of domestic violence. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men, 18 and older, have been a victim of physical violence by a partner.
Domestic violence can and does occur, and it can happen to anyone.
Bailey Pyle with Burrell Behavioral Health says the stress of the holidays and knowing that conversations with your partner can be a trigger When it comes to unhealthy situations, it's important to find ways to take care of yourself.
But if I react a certain way, then it's going to create this reaction in you. And so the biggest thing is caring for ourselves and having those conversations. And if those conversations are not safe to have, because that might be our reality, caring for ourselves is the biggest thing.
Pyle says if you find yourself overwhelmed and lashing out, find a way to step away from the situation.
Maybe it's I go to the golf course or go into my workshop. Maybe it is I just need to sit in a dark space without stimulation for 10 minutes.
It's important to notice the signs that someone you know or love might be in a domestic violence situation.
Is this individual maybe becoming more withdrawn? Are they having fewer and fewer opportunities to have meaningful contact with you? When they are, do they seem increasingly nervous that they might be being watched?
You can help by checking in on friends and family and by creating a code word. Find ways to talk during safe times and ways to communicate. The Domestic Violence Hotline recommends that survivors brainstorm reasons to get out, like shopping or holiday plans with someone.
If you or someone you know needs help, there are some local organizations that can help. That includes the Safe House Crisis Center in Pittsburgh, the Lafayette House in Joplin, and the Community Crisis Center in Miami. A company known for cars may soon get you coast to coast. Coming up. A company known for cars may soon get you coast to coast. Honda, which has its own private jet division, says it has built a new 11-person plane in the light jet class called the Honda Jet Echelon. The company says the jet will be able to get flyers from New York to Los Angeles without a pit stop. The Echelon is also expected to be capable of transcontinental travel. A report says the list price could be about $10 to $12 million. Tyson Foods is recalling almost 30,000 pounds of fully cooked Fun Nuggets. The Food Safety and Inspection Service says the packages may have materials such as metal pieces inside the white meat. The packages come in 29-ounce plastic bags with a best if used by September 4th, 2024 date. One minor oral injury has been reported. The FSIS recommends consumers to throw away the products or return it. Up next, the Home Depot Foundation is changing veterans' lives ahead of Veterans Day. The Home Depot Foundation is changing a veteran's life in Arizona by tackling a long list of home improvement projects. Several Home Depot employees were on hand to help. Fox's Desiree Fluellen takes us there to learn more.
Nearly 100 Home Depot employees are helping veteran Zachary Ferroni tackle a long list of home improvement projects.
Life-changing. Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah. It is life-changing.
It's part of the Home Depot Foundation's annual Operation Surprise ahead of Veterans Day.
You have all these members from the community coming out to help me, and it just is really nice to be able to wake up and see all these wonderful people here.
We are out here giving back to veterans. We are organizing the garage, putting in new shelving, repairing the fence, re-landscaping the entire home, painting.
Zachary served our country in the Army from 2003 to 2012. Deployed to Afghanistan, now home struggling with PTSD. His husband, Joe, is the only one able to work.
Being a one-income household, it's hard for them to keep up. Before I even bought this house, I don't know, I wouldn't have thought any of this would have been happening. It's insane. I love it.
Home Depot store manager George Page says Zachary hand-selected the paint choice.
The paint is dark pewter and the trim is skinny jeans.
Bluish gray?
Myself, and I really enjoy it.
So aside from all of the work being done to the house today, Zachary and Joseph are also being surprised with a new washer and dryer and their mortgage payment for December.
30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. U.S. government statistics show anti-Semitism is on the rise in the United States. Coming up. As the war rages on between Israel and Hamas, Jewish leaders here in the United States are combating what they say is a rising tide of anti-Semitism. Fox News correspondent Dana Maria McNichol has more.
The anxiety of the Jewish community is at an unprecedented level. Hundreds of separate incidents of anti-Semitism are keeping them on high alert. Many of those caught on camera. Take a look at this surveillance video coming out of Miami Beach. This man jumps out of his car at a stoplight and starts slashing at a sign in front of a bagel shop that proudly stands with Israel. It's now taped up and still hanging on. Another disturbing incident from an Atlanta suburb. A neo-Nazi group projected a laser message onto a highway overpass. Drivers could clearly read, "This land is our land, Heil Hitler." Now, the new wave of threats against the Jewish communities is adding to the climate of fear. Between October 7th and the 23rd, the Anti-Defamation League recorded a total of 312 anti-Semitic incidents, 190 of those directly linked to the war in Israel and Gaza. Jewish community leaders say anti-Semitism always rises when Israel has a conflict. It's something they're sadly used to.
What we are seeing today, especially on social media, are people making comments that we never expected to see. They are finding new ways and embracing a message of hate that they would never accept for their own communities.
He encourages the Jewish community to stay aware and vigilant, but at the same time, continue demonstrating their Jewish pride. I'm Dana Marie McNichol in Atlanta for Fox News.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken meets with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas today. Blinken's unannounced visit to the West Bank comes as the raging war between Israel and Hamas continues. Mahmoud is demanding an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Blinken dismisses the idea of a ceasefire, saying it will only benefit Hamas to attack again. Washington has proposed fighting to pause in order to allow humanitarian aid and a safe exit in Gaza. Russia this week undermining years of work to improve its relationship with Israel by suggesting the nation is, quote, an occupying power that does not have the right to self-defense. Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall has more.
For the moment, a lot of the attention has been on the support that Hamas is getting from Iran and other neighboring countries. But the net is being cast further, and people are starting to look closer at their relationship with Russia, which turns out to be quite beneficial for both. In fact, just in the last few days, Hamas has called Russia their closest friend. It very much is a relationship that works in two ways, and we saw it escalate recently when Moscow extended an invitation to Hamas and had its leaders come to visit them in Moscow, which infuriated Israel. While at the same time, we're hearing that Russia has been helping Hamas to avoid sanctions by funneling millions of their dollars of Hamas money through the Russian cryptocurrency exchanges. We also know that Russian weapons were used by Hamas in those terror attacks on October the 7th. And Ukraine says that Russia continues to be actively arming Hamas. At no point has Russia ever condemned Hamas's attack on October the 7th as terrorism. Instead, they have been condemning widely the Israeli bombardments, with Putin saying Israel are the ones acting like Nazis. And of course, Russia continues to gain greatly from the war in Israel because the world, in some senses, has taken its eyes off Ukraine. And as a result, Russia has been increasing their attacks across the country, with some Western funding that was intended to go to Ukraine now shifting towards Israel. And we also have to remember that Russia is very close to Iran as well. The Russian foreign minister was inside Iran over the last couple of weeks. And remember that Russia uses quite a few Iranian drones inside Ukraine, while Iran is seen to be benefiting from the Russian nuclear know-how as it develops its own nuclear program. And so there is, behind the scenes, an interconnecting web of countries that are seeking, in some sense, to undermine the West and their sanctions, but also, as we've seen recently, to support Hamas. In London, Benjamin Hall, Fox News.
Still ahead, a Nintendo exclusive sneak peek.
Mario is making a big splash in the new Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm Eamon Dignam in New York, and I sat down with the head of Nintendo to talk about how the game came together.
Well, I hope you had a great weekend. Temperatures pretty good over the weekend. A lot of clouds, but at least our temperatures into the 70s for afternoon high Saturday, and also for us today, and we haven't had any rain, even though we've had the clouds. We still have a big deficit for this year, but at least the drought, the big picture, we put a nice little dent into it, which is good news, but we don't have any big storm systems heading toward us over the next couple days. Let's go outside downtown Joplin. We're looking at our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex live tower cam. Looks pretty good. We have partly cloudy skies outside. Of course, we're dry. Temperatures have been warm. Yesterday, we went near 70, which was pretty good. We only dropped into lower 50s during the morning hours. Of course, we lost that evening hour of daylight for us tonight as we fell back last night. But look at our highs into the mid 70s during the afternoon. Has been a little bit on the breezy side. Southerly winds kind of 5 to 10 to 15, but gusts at times upwards of about 20. Now, it's going to stay breezy tonight. It's going to stay breezy once again as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, especially our southern counties. We're going to have those gusts 20 upwards to 25. Let's go into Tuesday. Everybody has at least southerly wind gusts, kind of 20 to 30. So just keep in the back of your mind that it's going to be kind of windy as we go through the next couple days. For us tonight, we slide back through the 60s, eventually down to 59, which is fairly mild. We start with sunshine back to 68 by 10 a.m. And there's not a whole bunch going on for us. We have some clouds kind of scooting right through our northern counties. Besides that, we look pretty good. We do have a storm system across the northern parts of the plains, but any rain, any snow is staying up across the Dakotas into parts of Minnesota. All we are seeing from that are just some clouds. So we are going to have kind of in and out of the clouds tonight, and then once again for us tomorrow. Another little system kind of building behind it, and this system will start to affect us Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It's going to drop a cold front through and kind of drop us back to reality by that point in time. All right, let's go through time. For us tonight, we're going to stop tomorrow morning. Here's about 6 a.m. 59 Monette, 60 at Grand Lake, 59 in Pittsburgh, Parsons, about 60 degrees. In and out of the clouds throughout the day, lower 70s by noon. I think most of us get mid to upper 70s, very similar to what we had today as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, still kind of partly cloudy skies. You can see a few little showers trying to fire off in our far northern counties. So we can't, rule out a random shower in our northern counties, but most of you will stay dry. As we go into Tuesday afternoon, partly sunny skies, high temps into the upper 70s. So temperatures look great over the next couple days. 66 by 9, 76 by 1, 73 by 5 p.m. Temperatures stay above where we should be for this time of the year. 78 even on Wednesday. That cold front drops through, so a few morning showers Thursday, and then cooling down. It's not cold, it just cools us back down to where we should be. Highs mainly into the 60s Thursday, Friday, and then heading into this weekend. Elise?
Coming up in sports, Carl Junction girls basketball player announces her commitment to play at the Division I level. Plus, the Kansas City Chiefs face the Miami Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany. Brock Baldridge has the highlights and more.
The Kansas City Chiefs played their second game in franchise history in Europe on early Sunday morning. The Chiefs meet the Miami Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany for one of the highest anticipated NFL matchups of the season. Here we go from Deutschland. Miami and Kansas City meet in Frankfurt, Germany. And there is Kansas City public enemy number one, former Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who's been waiting all season for this one. Opening drive of the game, Patrick Mahomes passes to Rashee Rice, who cuts through the defense, scores the touchdown. Kansas City makes a statement on their opening drive. It's 7-0 KC. Second quarter now, same score. Mahomes on target to Jerick McKinnon. He takes it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. It's 14-0 Chiefs. Later that quarter, one of the top defensive plays you'll see all year. Tua Tagovailoa is going to throw to Tyreek Hill, but Trent McDuffie is there as he forces the fumble. Mike Edwards picks it up, laterals to Brian Cook, little pitchy woo-woo there, and Brian Cook is going to take it all the way to the house. Touchdown, Kansas City. It's 21-0 Chiefs. What did we just witness there? Tyreek Hill had the ball, just loses it as McDuffie forces it out. Great awareness there by Mike Edwards, and Brian Cook, wow, takes it to the house. Chiefs led at halftime 21-0, but no lead is safe in the NFL, especially against the Dolphins. So third quarter now, after a costly Chris Jones penalty, Miami trails 21-7. Raheem Mostert finds some space to score. It's a one-possession game now. Chiefs still lead 21-14, but in the fourth quarter now, same score, it's crunch time. 4th and 10, last chance for the Dolphins, but Tua fumbles the snap, and the Chiefs are there to clean it up. Madness in Germany. Kansas City holds on as they beat the Miami Dolphins 21-14 to improve to 7-2 on the season.
We did some great things, and then We sputtered at times. But I would tell you that first drive was a thing of beauty. And then again, the next touchdown was also a good job of getting ourselves upfield and scoring on that.
You can see that we can do it. It's just about being consistent every single drive, and obviously penalties and then me not connecting on guys deep down the field hurt us. But luckily for us, our defense is playing their tail off, and we got the win.
Elsewhere in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills are visiting the Cincinnati Bengals for a huge matchup. Chiefs have faced both of these teams in the AFC Championship the past 3 seasons. At last check, it's Cincinnati who leads Buffalo 21-10. Well, one of Carl Junction's women's basketball players announced that she plans to play college basketball at the Division I level over the weekend. The name probably rings a bell to the CJ community. Kylie Scott announced on her social media that she plans to play women's college basketball at Oral Roberts University following her senior year. You may remember the name. Kylie is the youngest of 3 Scott sisters. Older sisters Megan and Katie Scott played for the Lady Bulldogs over the recent years. Well, Kylie is coming off of a season as a junior where she was first team All-COC and part of the MBCA Class 5 All-State girls basketball team. Well, Sporting Kansas City and St. Louis City meet, and the 2 teams meet in the playoff opening round as the number 8 seed Sporting KC looks to upset the number 1 seeded St. Louis City SC. We start things in the 45th minute. Sporting puts themselves in a good opportunity. Scoreless match thus far until Logan Nadimbi fires it in the corner of the net, and that's a goal for Sporting. Sporting KC takes a 1-0 lead. 72nd minute now. Gotti Kinda is going to sneak by the St. Louis defense there and goes to Daniel Salloway, who scores the goal. It's now 2-0 Sporting. So 86th minute now. St. Louis looking for a comeback. Celio Pompeu from outside the box. Look at this. My goodness, what a goal. St. Louis still trails 2-1. Time is running out, but look at that shot right there. Placed perfectly. Can't do it any better than that. So to the 87th minute now. St. Louis has an opportunity here with a shot on goal, but they won't make it. And that will do it. Sporting Kansas City upsets St. Louis City 2-1. Lots of good action today. Also another mention from the NFL. Tank Dell, former Independence Community College Pirate, scored the game-winning touchdown for the Houston Texans. So congrats to him, and
absolutely.
A little shout out to the Pirate community there.
Shout out to the Pirate community, and also what a great game for the Chiefs. They're facing another great team, the Dolphins, and they've got a bye week.
Yes, they got a bye week coming up, so perfect timing, to get some rest, especially coming after Germany, long flight.
Absolutely, and they'll be facing the Eagles and have a little Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Brock. We'll be right back. The newest Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, has been out a few weeks now. And now that the world has settled into the newest adventure in Nintendo's favorite plumber brothers and friends, Fox's Eamon Dignam spoke to the head of Nintendo America about the game and how it was made.
Mario is back, and he's bigger than ever. Following the release of the smash hit movie and hot new video game, Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser sat down to talk to me about Super Mario Bros. Wonder, the first 2D side-scroller in the mainline series since 2012, and some of the culture surrounding it, including crunch, where developers have been overworked with long hours to meet predetermined release dates, and how this game didn't have it.
The producers wanted to give the teams all the time they needed to really come up with creative and unique ideas and not be strapped by a time horizon that they had to execute them in.
And he also spoke about why this is an important release for players of all ages.
We really are multi-generational in terms of our fan base and how people engage in the content. You may continue playing, or you may return to playing when you want to share that with the next generation.
As for rumors that Nintendo is poised to challenge Disney after this year's Mario movie and amusement park, Bowser stayed humble.
We do see opportunities to take these incredible characters in these worlds and take them outside of a video game experience.
Bowser also said, oops, that's the wrong Bowser. But President Bowser does say they're going to keep on going, making fun things for the whole family. The release is also capturing the attention of professional speedrunners. Right now, the pros are beating the game in just under 2 hours. It took me, a casual player, 3 days to beat. Check out this story and more every weekend on the Fox on Tech podcast. In New York, Eamon Dignam, Fox News.
Up next, a look at the top movies at the box office. With Halloween just a spooky memory, could the big horror movie in theaters keep finding audiences to frighten? David Daniels has the early weekend estimates for the top 5 films.
Dígame, si convierte su salón de clases en un patio de recreo, ¿qué va a hacer después?
Radical, starring Eugenio Derbez, opened in 5th place on ticket sales of $2.7 million. Priscilla, about Priscilla Presley and her life with Elvis, made $5.1 million to debut number 4. Killers of the Flower Moon stayed in 3rd place, collecting another $7 million.
Yeah, it's going to be called the Eras Tour. See you there.
Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour is up to $166 million domestic after a 2nd place weekend worth $13.5 million.
If you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
A scary drop for Five Nights at Freddy's, which earned $19.4 million, down 76% from its debut, but still enough to stay number 1. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with images of snow leopard cubs at the Bronx Zoo. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us part of your night.